Avoiding your triggers isn't healing. Healing happens when you're triggered and you're able to move through the pain, the pattern, and the story, and walk your way to a different ending. Vienna Farrell.
That was
Dear sons and daughters of planet Earth, it is with great joy that I come here today to convey all my love, my lap, and my support to each of you. So many of you wonder why you are suffering. Sufferings come in so many forms: physical, mental, external, from the life you have, the planet's own suffering. So many ask themselves, why all this? Most of those here listening to me have already learned that they reap what they once sowed. No matter what day that was, the return came, and why does it need to come? All that you emanate or speak, think, and act against anyone or against yourself happens, and in the future it comes back, the first time with the same intensity that it was emanated, to draw attention to something that you provoked. Suppose you don't pay attention and keep repeating, or simply ignore what is coming. In that case, it will take on a new force and become more and more intense, so that you pay attention to what it is trying to show you. The feeling you call suffering results from everything you have done previously. It doesn't matter the life, you are getting it back. But unfortunately, many fail to understand this. They think they are wronged, or Father, Mother, God is punishing them. They believe that life is being mean to them. And so, they manage to continue in this rhetoric for a long time because they cannot admit that they were wrong at some point. The solution to that suffering is to look it in the face and seek learning there. This is the big problem. You don't want to learn. You don't want to admit that you made a mistake and need to correct yourself. It's better to blame others, Father, Mother, God. To blame life, it is more comfortable and easier to continue living the suffering, attributing it to other people, than to look at yourself and see that you made a mistake. This is a critical point in your journey. Some like to suffer. How absurd to think that suffering will bring benefits. Others feel that they will exchange their suffering with Father, Mother, God for something they have committed. I would say that feeling in your own body, in your own life, something that you have provoked has a learning effect. But for a while, not all the time, because life will charge you for what you have done at some point. You don't have to choose to live that way because it will come. So what is essential at this moment? Have a vigilant eye on every attitude, thought, and action, and always ask yourself, is what I am doing, thinking, or emitting good for me and the whole? If the answer is yes, go ahead, and you'll be doing good for yourself and the world. If the answer is no, it's only good for me, then don't do it because you are selfish, thinking only of yourself. And if the answer is no, it will only be good for the whole. Don't do it because you need to come first, not the whole. So understand that suffering is not something Father, Mother, God applauds, nor will it take you to paradise, as many believe. Eternal suffering is a sign that you don't look inside, that you don't admit that you are wrong. Your ego is enormous, so you suffer, and the suffering never ends because it has already settled in you in such a way that you have gotten used to it. But you keep thinking that this suffering is beautiful in the eyes of the Father, Mother, God. God the Father, Mother doesn't want his children to suffer. God the Father Mother wants everyone happy and proud. Stop putting yourself through the suffering. Instead, admit that you make mistakes. Acknowledge that you will make mistakes tomorrow. And the main thing is to have the conscience not to repeat these mistakes anymore. And this is the cure for your suffering. And I will say something significant. Because of this lack of humility in admitting their mistakes, many begin to suffer in the physical body. The body is the one who pays for all your mistakes because you emanate so much pain, you emanate so much suffering, that the universe gives you back more of what? More pain and more suffering, and your body is the one that receives it all, and you are feeling unjust, undeserving of all this suffering, and you keep asking God the Father or Mother, why? Why do you suffer? Why do you feel pain? And I'll answer, because you emanate it all the time. You don't look inside and realize where you need to change. So then you will only emanate suffering and will always receive more of the same. It's amazing how you can't understand this, that everything that comes into your lives, everything that happens to you, is caused by you, not by Father, Mother, God, not by punishment, not because someone sent you something evil, because if someone sends you something evil and you are whole and protected, it comes and goes. So if you believe everything and open your doors for evil, it will enter. So what is missing to realize that you don't have to suffer? You can and must give the path to your higher self and ask him to lead you on the right way to remove the pain, suffering, and scarcity. This is an other subject that I prefer to leave for others to talk about. Scarcity and abundance. You have what you emanate, that's all I'm going to say. So my sons and daughters, put an end to suffering. Stop and think about why I'm like this. Ask your higher self for your soul master to show you the reason for suffering and what you need to do to learn about it. And you will succeed. In some cases, healing the physical body is no longer possible. Still, you will live balanced, no longer suffering from chronic pain. The problem will still be there, but it will not be present because you know how to take care of it. You know how to learn a lesson. So what are you waiting for? Is it possible that a magic pill will fall from the sky to cure you of any diseases? I tell you, there are many ways to heal yourself, but remember, everything has a limit. You can be healed, but if you keep the source of the problem, it will come back. And how long will you be allowed to be healed? Because you didn't learn the lesson. You just wanted to be cured, so you wouldn't have to do anything. How far does learning go? Don't expect too much from the universe. The person who has to do it for you is yourself, not a technique, a miracle treatment, or a miracle cue. You need to learn, know, and solve the problem. This is what you need to do. There will be ways of healing in the future. Yes, there are ways of healing. But if you don't heal yourselves in your minds, it all comes back. And how many times will you do the healing treatment? This is not a toy, it will have a limit. So start learning to take care of yourself, treat yourself, and heal yourself, without depending on anything or anyone, just by your own decisions. The passage to the fifth dimension is not easy. The transmutation of your body is not a simple process. The sicker, the more contaminated, the more internally dirty your bodies are, and the more painful they will be. Understand this, there is nothing we can do. Everything is what it has to be. So start staring, facing your problems. They are dancing in front of you. But you keep looking up, so you don't see them, and then they get bigger and bigger, and you keep looking up, so you don't see them, until one day, they are so numerous and extensive that they overwhelm you, and then it really
Beloved Masters, most of you are now aware that in the beginning stages of the initiation process, there is somewhat of a crisis as the battle for supremacy begins between the ego desire personality and the soul self. Each person must endeavor to clear his or her illusionary, distorted reality of the astral planes of consciousness. The ego desire personality is controlled by the energies and impulses of the 3 lower chakras, and these out of balance inclinations must be brought under control of the soul self once more. This period is often called the dark night of the soul, or traversing the valley of shadows. When you are in the midst of the process, it is important that you understand you are not being punished, dear one. After you have successfully traversed the shadowlands and emerged triumphant, you will look back in retrospect and you will realize that you were given a great opportunity, a wonderful gift of growth. A spiritual aspirant is a consciously aware human being who is seeking enlightenment and self-mastery, and in the beginning stages he or she is somewhat self-focused, often prone to temper and irritability and frustration, and may experience bouts of self-doubt and depression. A spiritual aspirant must develop sensitivity and a loving, understanding nature. The aspirant's purpose will gradually move away from the personal ambition and love of power into a desire to be of service to humanity. A desire to serve others is a soul instinct. Brave bearers of light, are you ready and willing to be a pathfinder, to open the doors to the many heavenly mansions and many dimensions of creation? Each higher dimensional level offers newer opportunities and will give you access to many new abilities and expanded wisdom. However, each higher level will also challenge you in many ways and will require that you release those things which no longer serve your greatest good. You left many facets of your greater self along the way as you traversed the descending pathway into the lower dimensions, and you now must be willing to release to the past those people, ways of being, and things which do not fit into your present and future reality as you make your return journey into the higher dimensions. My faithful ones, we are assisting you in every way possible within the limits of the universal laws, and we are waiting patiently for you to join us in the various pyramids of light stationed throughout this sub-universe. We have told you that you are not only creating your new earthly reality, but you are also preparing yourselves to take up full residency in a world that is glorious beyond your wildest imagining. We convey to you all the radiance of Creator light and love you can contain now. You are loved, deeply loved, beyond measure. I am Archangel Michael. So be it.
So I believe those 2 videos worked hand in hand this evening to show us the great mystery of why we're here, and the topic being Together We Ascend was made very clear. Even though this is an inside job, something that we have to do within ourselves to unload all of the patterns that no longer serve us. We need each other. We need to interact with others, to see parts of ourselves we're not willing to look at within. Everything is there to see. Only we became masters of smoke and mirrors so that we didn't have to see what was still remaining within us that was slowing us down, making us stagnate, making us go through over and over the same experiences. We said, what the heck is going on? Why can't I get out of this loop? And I tell you why. He said that we're looking up because people are praying all the time. And that is good, and that is holy, and it shows that you have faith in a higher source of wisdom. That would be our higher self as a part of this great, beautiful being called the Christ. And a Christ, all the Christs throughout the universes kind of form a body of cells from the great prime creator. It's like the hierarchy, and it just keeps going up and up and up until it reaches the prime creator. The prime creator is not a being, never was. It is pure life force based on love. So when people think that there is no God, it makes you sad, because then there is no love, no wisdom, everything that is good and holy. It makes you sad when people think that they're nothing and no one. They do not identify with the beauty within them, this magnificent and holy being that you are. Your higher self is always there, waiting for you to ask for help, waiting for you to want to take the next step. We are in such an incredible time. While everything is crashing around us from the matrix of 3 and 4D negative, we are rising up in consciousness into this magnificent 5D. Even 4+ is wonderful. We're all in it right now. And I say, thank God that we are, so that we don't have to go through some of the things that people are going through that don't believe, don't reach for more, don't reach within, don't do their work. They're too, I don't know, caught up in the drama of the world, believing that that is where they need to be successful. They need to make their name known. They need to make money. They need to rise to the top. And I say, it's only a moment in time. Being here is a moment in time. A lifetime is so fast. And what does it mean to be accomplished? You can't take it with you. You can't even take your physical body with you. So people that dwell on that and work on their physical body as if it's the end all and the be all, it isn't going to be like that soon. What is important is your sacred heart, your divine mind, connecting with that part of you that you really are. You are your higher self. That's your potential, your place of bliss, total knowledge, total remembrance of every lifetime, every experience, Your soul is gathering this like a library, continuing to add to the library. The law of one is broken down into a simple state of love. Base everything on love. What is the kind, beautiful thing that I could do? Do it for yourself. Come to be so pleased with yourself. Before you go to bed, review your day. Say to yourself, what did I do today that I could feel good about? Did I do anything nice for myself? I might have done 20 things nice for other people, but did I do something nice for me to help myself clear from the sadness, to help myself to get beyond my limitations? You came here to heal you. And the kind things that we do for others is beautiful and it is holy. But make sure you don't forget you in your running and in your doing. Why do we need each other to ascend? If we lived in a cave and we had no one to speak to reflect with, to listen to their point of view, it wouldn't stimulate us to do anything. We would just go about mechanically moving through our life, doing whatever we do. But it would be lonely. It would take us 100,000 times longer to get where we're going. That's why we have contracts before we ever come into this lifetime. And that contract is very valid. It's so important to fulfill our contracts. And I want you to know, just because people come into your life and they're mean or they're troublesome or they're agitators, they're not your enemy. They are not your enemy. It hurts. It's difficult. But you called them in. You want to grow. You want to let go of anything that holds you back. You are a sovereign being. And just because you're with people, you don't lose yourself. Because if you do, there's no one to save you. Ascending together is wonderful. And we have earned this gift of being together with our soul family here. It doesn't come in the early days. You're bouncing off of the agitators for the most part. And then every once in a while, one of the good guys come in and bring you some peace. Have a comrade, someone you can lean on. But that's not why we came. We came here to grow, to transform ourselves into our potential. It is time. Every day the squeeze becomes stronger and we're pushed to grow and to move by our own higher self. Nobody out there is doing this to us. Everything's from within, the inner planes and inside us with our higher self. Our ego is kind of like really giving us a run for our money. The ego is so used to running the show. And when you hear these weird things come into your mind, that's your ego. As silly as it is, don't buy it, don't fall for it. Remember who is the master of the house, and that is you. You at your highest potential. We spent many years playing. We spent many years building a life for ourselves, satisfying our needs, our wants. And now, the greatest gift is this holy moment to transform ourselves into our potential completely. Because if you think heaven is a place, you're mistaken. It's a state of consciousness. So you can be right here where you are, and be in fifth dimension in your consciousness. And you are protected because your frequency is higher. You're not prone to a lot of 3D drama unless you choose to get involved in it, to disturb your peace with it. We transcend together. We ascend and transcend this 3D world. We are going on to a much higher frequency experience in a world that is so beautiful, which we will see with our own eyes. We'll experience what it's like to be in a heavenly consciousness. We know it well. We were there, but we lowered ourselves into this dimension to bring the light and also to master ourself. We let ourselves get so involved in this world, and that's not why we came. We came to hold the light. But boy, I'll tell you, this matrix was powerful, and we fell for it. But we don't anymore because we know better. We know what we have our eyes set on. It's not about a goal. It's just that we know what we want. We don't want to suffer anymore. We don't want to have lack. We don't want to live in a world of pain and suffering. We don't want to share our world with the shadow, with the evil, with the darkness. So when we get to that point, which I can see you are there, what do? We focus upon the light. We ask for help to let go of the things that hurt us. You know what hurts you. You know what still trips you up. The miracle is that we can get beyond that. We can do this. If one person in the physical can do it, you can do it. And one person and many people have. I've met them. You can still be right in the same situations you're in with the same people, and you will be completely unmoved out of your peace, no matter what happens, because you'll know the truth. You'll understand why it's happening. And then take that understanding and actually do something about it, because you don't need to hang on to it. That isn't what's going to get you where you want to go. Once you reach 5D, everything changes. You're very busy in service. You're living in a peaceful state of mind. And all you see is beauty because you've left the rest behind. It's all up to us to make those choices while we live our life and go about our business. The glory of God is within you. With every breath you take, that prana is entering in. It brings you everything you need and strengthens you. And Mother Earth has a big part in it too. For you are bringing up from Mother Earth the elements, the energy from her, nurturing our bodies, helping us in every way, whatever we need. She provides our food. She provides the air, everything we need. All we have to do is work on ourselves. Let's do it in joy. Let's find happiness in what we're doing. We don't need anybody's permission. We don't need anybody to tell us what to do. We do it our way. Whatever pleases you, makes you feel comfortable and safe, move in that direction. As you're kind to yourself, loving and understanding of your needs, you'll become more in that direction with others. It will be easy for you to be nice, to be kind, without losing yourself, without giving up your happiness or your needs. We're going to be talking about this from different points of view over the month of June, the month of the Father. And it's very important for us to really go back and listen to the videos again, because it's not by chance that I'm given these, that people are donating them and submitting them, or that the Father himself is showing me exactly what we need to look at for exactly the needs that we have of the moment. The beautiful light of love is moving through your body. Drink deeply of that love, peace, grace. You're giving it to yourself, or you're not. Decide to give it to yourself. And it'll be easier and easier for you to give it to others. It's such a beautiful dance. We're all connected so beautifully. Even the ones that are the provokers, they're just trying to finish the contract, work through the karma, bring us together, get it done with so we can move on. There is so much waiting for us. It's not far from where we are in our consciousness. We need to finish up here, be done, get our master's degree, and go on to other things. Together we can do this easier. Just like together when we pray, we have more power behind the prayer. Our hearts are so beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Connect with that beauty within you. Come to love, honor, and respect yourself. Others will see you in the way that you see yourself. And if they don't see you in the light that you are believing that you are, work on what it was that was troubling that person that was looking at you or talking to you or treating you in a way that you're not used to. They're finding a button that we missed. They're not our enemy. They're our spiritual friend, coming to help us at the moment that it's perfect for us. When everything that they came to help us with is right out in our field and they can see it. They don't know they can see it, but they can. And that's why they come at you at that moment. For those of you that have made peace with your family, that have made peace with your friends that have kind of walked away, with anybody that we've had problems with, make peace inside yourself with them. Send blessings and love. You don't have to be with them. Some of them don't even want you to be with them. But anybody that you've had some uncomfortable situations with, send them love and light. It's a blessing to you and a blessing to them. Remember, we need each other because we're moving through this experience together. It felt like we were alone for many years, always not fitting in, feeling awkward and different. But now that we have our soul families gathering, we have people that are on the same page. What a blessing. What an honor. So wonderful. For those of you that are caretakers, know that you're having a very spiritual experience, as difficult as it is. We learn about ourselves as we move through each of the experiences that we have. The depravity, the lack of courage or of knowledge and understanding. As we have compassion for somebody else, we have compassion for ourselves. We're learning so much from each other. The topic tonight, Together We Ascend, is very important to understand. It's huge. It can't happen unless we're all working together with each other and for each other's benefit. That's why we came together. As time goes on, we're going to understand this on a much deeper level, how completely connected we all are. People talk about everybody and everything is one. If you sit down and really think about it, do we feel that way? Or do we look at others and judge them, and maybe not in a nice way? I learned a long time ago, every time I do that, I'm judging a part of myself I don't love. You are gaining freedom every day of your life. Freedom from the things that held you back yesterday. Freedom from the things that made us fearful. The only thing I fear is not becoming my potential. If I should miss anything or decide one day I don't feel like being on that track anymore, because we've done it so many times. But I'm pretty determined at this point, because we have glimpses of what we can have every moment of our life, where we don't pull in all these agitators, where we don't pull in all this drama of the world anymore, even if it's happening all around us. That is the gift we're giving ourselves. And it's only accomplished when we put our time, our thoughts, our energy into our ascension. While you're at work, you can do it. Look around you. See who's pushing your buttons. Think about what it does to you, what you feel inside. For those of us that are not working, it doesn't matter. Wherever we go, we're with people. And we have circumstances occurring. Breathe into it and become a real good observer. Be conscious of how you feel all the time. And when you realize what's going on inside you, do something about it. First, change your mind that you don't want to stay like that anymore. And then completely let it go. Sometimes we let it go physically, sometimes mentally, sometimes emotionally. But it all starts in our minds and in our emotional bodies. The emotions are the fuel to push out the patterns and beliefs that we have held mentally.